poem about a funeral. It's kind of inspired by Hunter S. Thompson, who, my favourite fact about Hunter S. Thompson is the ridiculous instructions that he left for his funeral, involving like his ashes being fired out of a cannon over like a statue of a double-thumbed fist. And it was quite particular. Apparently Johnny Depp footed the bill for the whole thing, so it got to happen. Anyway, I got thinking what would be my my fantasy funeral. So here is Last Orders by Hunter... no, it's not by Hunter S. Thompson. That'd be shocking. Last Orders for Hunter S. Thompson. Dig my grave 3 feet square and 12 feet deep, and rest my cadaver on its head, so then the months following my fleeting, my brain can finally absorb everything I was at my end. Invite those I have offended worst in life to be first to toss gloating soil at my upturned feet, and let my past pupils pour gallons of red ink over the hands that marked their juvenilia. Advertise my send-off as a Facebook event and send malicious messages laced with expletives to those aloof hundreds who RSVP as maybe. Sit my ex-girlfriends together in a row and let them all, even that one, get on famously before eventually arguing over which of them is being snidely swiped at in this poem. Set up a lost property stall by my tombstone filled with the myriad items I've borrowed. Let Lewis take back his snooker cue and give Emily the magazines I've no right to cling to. Hold the service on a 213 bus, for this has been my place of prayer and silent introspection for over half my sleepless life. Arrange for no music, but provide a stereo and invite my hipster friends to make mix CDs. Watch them fight over which obscure B-side will best provide the funeral for a son. Finally, mould my grip around my wife, twist my hard arms around her waist, and let the suitors queue up to try to prize her from my cold, dead hands. And finally, I suppose, as I've just come straight from school, I'd like to read you a poem about a teacher who he's not with us anymore. But he was a great teacher, and he was kind of like the last bastion of the old school in the school that I was teaching. He was kind of the last blackboard in the place was being, staunchly held on to by him. But he was a great friend and a great teacher. So this is called At the Chalk Face. Teachers used to describe their craft as being at the chalk face. At the chalk face. By a decade, he was the last man standing at the blackboard, delicately nuancing the shading on a headland or the shy curvature of a tributary, holding the minds of tired teens trained on the tips of his dusty thumbs. He was at home with thighs stood strong against the rush of the Usk, taking muddy measurements of the bed's depth or controlling the clustering of kids with clipboards across Monmouth High Street. He'd stand over the eroding arch of Durdle Door, explaining the land's battle with abrasion and attrition, extolling our fortune at seeing it in arch before its fall to stack or stump. Versed in men's war with the waves, he'd lament the thwarted intention of groins placed to slow the sands spread along the coast, our best efforts swallowed by swash, pulled under the plunge line. His arms raised and spread, dancing the drama of convection currents, his fingers clamped as teeth to give a visual for a cow hoof compacting the soil about the gate. He'd mastered the art of the tack, was at one with a topper, sailing solo in circles around us as we faltered with jibs and slack sheets flapping. He was always the wind's favourite. He was my mother's finest example of friendship, a welcome addition to Christmas dinner, always careful not to exhaust a welcome that could never be outworn. He'd skin a fish with the best of them and took pride in sharing everything, all he caught in the water and raised from the ground. He was so much of what makes a home of a place. He wrote all his words in chalk, but they will never be erased. Thank you.